Hello, and you're listening to FPcast, the official podcast for Fruitless Pursuits, where we bullshit about the week in pop culture. I'm Luke.
And I'm Jacinta.
And this week we're talking about...
movies, television, collectibles, video games, comics, books, board games, and more.
Victor Kipton.
Whoa, I had to think about that. Say it again.
Victor Kipton.
Victor. Yeah.
Yeah. Poor little Chekhov. Can't say his V's.
Rest in peace.
Yes. Poor little bugger.
Poor little guy.
Yeah. So
we just watched Star Trek.
Yeah. The final stand of Anton Yelchin.
And
may he rest in peace.
Yes, bless him. And out of respect to Yelton, I was Yelchin. And,
out of respect to him, I learnt his name.
I missaid his name.
Yeah.
Never forget. It's been a while. But, I was absolutely busting for a wee-wee by the end of that film, through the whole third act, in fact. Mm-hmm. And, just really, as soon as the credits rolled, wanted to get out of there. But I knew they would have a little tribute to the little guy. Yeah. And out of respect, I definitely wanted to stick around and see that. It was quite moving, actually.
It was like, our cinema wasn't particularly full, but when there was two little dedications, which the movies had a rough time when they're doing two RIPs at the end of the movie.
Yeah, Chris Pine, never forget.
But yeah, the Leonard Nimoy one came up, and everyone sort of went, oh yeah, and then the Anton Yelchin one came up, and everyone just kind of went, oh.
Yeah, and then the theatre, which wasn't full of people, was suddenly full of tears.
It was. We just rode, I just sat on my popcorn box and just rode it out.
Oh, I actually, you probably didn't realise this, but for such screenings, they use them on a lot of the Chicks Flicks nights. And,
the tarps.
Girls with Cancer movies. No, I'm thinking of the little inflatable rafts that they put under your seat.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah.
So I just boosted out on one of those, and so we're going to review Star Trek today.
Star Trek: Beyond.
Beyond. We're going to go beyond what makes...
Hopefully beyond that last fucking movie. Oh!
Yeah.
Fuck you, Benedict.
Beyond Benedict. And, we're going to talk about some trailers. I'm going to talk about some TV, because there's been some really great TV in the last week.
And we shouldn't forget...
And some older TV.
Which we have forgotten, kind of. It's our 150th episode.
This one
is our 150th episode.
Sure?
I am 100% sure. 150% even.
I'm not convinced. If you hear me clicking, I'm going to look into this. I think it might be 149.
No,
you were 100% sure a second ago.
On my doc, it says 150, and I'm pretty sure I had changed the numbers if we missed an episode.
Get your doc out. Whoops, I'm in the wrong folder. Fruitless Pursuits, here we go. 100, it's 149.
Oh, god damn it.
That's good. Next week's 150.
Well, at least you have some time to prepare now.
I didn't realise this. 150 comes out on my birthday.
Oh.
August 1st.
Nice.
Wow. I'll be 40. The podcast will be 150. Holy crap.
Right, and I'm going to have to change all the numbers on the doc because they're all fucking out now, apparently. God damn it.
You've got a floppy doc. You need to straighten it out.
Yep.
Okay, so news-wise, a lot of news is probably going to happen right before we record this because of SDCC. Yeah. There'll probably be Marvel things and DC things and stuff like that, but we don't know any of that at the moment.
No, there's been a lot of toy showcase stuff, which has been really cool, but not really worth talking about because it's such a visual medium.
And some movie posters and things. Again, it's a visual medium. Though the Wonder Woman poster has something that DC hasn't tried before. Colour.
Yeah, I was wondering, I was looking at it going, why does this seem strange? It's just there's sunshine and And
she had a bit of red.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't like a dirty russet.
It was very red. Confusing, but
some
pleasant.
Blue.
Yeah.
Yeah. It wasn't murky squid ink.
Yeah.
It was all up in there.
Yeah.
Primary colours, I would say.
Yeah.
Red, yellow, and blue.
Yeah.
By yellow, I mean gold.
Very nice. Yes, that is a film that I'm very much looking forward to.
Yeah. Did it give you a sense of wonder?
Little bit, yeah.
I was
wondering where all those colours came from.
I was wondering, who's this woman?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Because I'm not very clever and I don't follow pop culture. Don't get me started on that. So, the other bit of news was that we talked last week, and again, the internet makes us a liar, which is why you should never have a news segment, because it all turns out to be bullshit anyway. We were talking about how Legendary had the rights for a Pokemon Go movie.
A live-action movie.
Yeah, live-action movie. And we started to speculate on who would play who.
Yeah.
Who would be hunting down the Pokemon. We had lots of really fantastic ideas.
Yeah, it was going to be, Channing Tatum and Chris Pratt hunting Pokemon.
And some
brothers
women.
on different teams. Conflict. All so Shakespearean.
And some people of colour.
Yeah, of course.
And
the Pokemon are colourful, aren't they?
And an old lady.
Uh-huh.
Everything was going to be in it. My spec script and my sex script.
Yeah.
Were both in. One was the porn parody. One was
you
the
might as well
actual
write
film.
them at the same time. It just saves so much, brain power.
They were both in envelopes, ready to post. Turns out, Legendary got the rights to Detective Pikachu, not Pokemon Go.
That sucks.
So, Detective Pikachu is a game for the 3DS, I assume. Mm-hmm. And it's solving crimes, and it's Pikachu, not Ash's Pikachu, who's a little, Pikachu. It's a little gruff Pikachu.
Oh, he's got a little manly voice. It was very off-putting.
So he solves murders and rapes and things, I suppose.
I guess so.
And he's got a hat, and his voice is very gruff Japanese man, making lots of noise.
Yeah, I hadn't seen the trailer prior to you showing it to me 5 minutes ago, but I've seen pictures of Detective Pikachu, but I just thought it was like shitty Sherlock Pokemon crossover art.
No.
And I just dismissed it.
It's a real thing.
Oh,
so
gross.
They're sort of acting like maybe it's a gateway to bigger, grander Pokemon movies, but definitely going to be Detective Pikachu, apparently. And so we've got to rethink our casting completely. Obviously, they'll have an American actor doing the voice. I think maybe John Hamm.
Yeah.
As Detective Pikachu.
Yeah. Or what about they just go a completely different direction? Let's have just Seth Rogen Pikachu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Blazing it up.
Blazing, like, that's how we
just... What time is it, Pikachu? 4:20.
Blaze it!
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's just like, fuck, I can't have there's no breakthrough in this case. I better just drop a pill. And he's like, I can see through time.
Where's Bulbasaur? Smoked him, dude. Using Charizard's tail.
Got Sausage Party coming up in a few weeks. I'm cautious.
Which is the name of my 40th.
Oh, yeah, that too. Yeah. Also the Seth Rogen movie. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that as well. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, fantastic. Well, we watched some trailers for the Marvel Netflix stuff, and they're very early teasers, more of announcements than anything. Announcements for things which were long ago announced.
Yeah,
but,
it's funny how that works, yeah.
Yeah, Luke Cage.
Yes.
Which is good, it's effective, the music's great, and it's really...
I think it's the pick of the trailers.
Yeah.
I think, yeah.
And it's really
because it actually shows you some stuff.
Shows you some violence.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, you guys like violence, don't you?
Well, the success of Daredevil and Jessica Jones has proven people like violence.
America loves violence. So, if you want to see people shooting and punching and fighting and, in a fantasy setting, I kind of do. So, well, yeah, that's what Luke Cage is.
And then the other one was Iron Fist.
Which is Finn Jones. Loras.
Sir Loras, again, alright.
From Game of Thrones. Got some, no spoilers, but he's got some time on his hands.
He's, little bit. And you don't see too much. There's kind of just there's a kind of a vague, sketchy outline of his origin in a very basic way.
Which looks exactly like Doctor Strange.
It looks so much like Doctor Strange, and even the last shot of the trailer is just a sort of a shot of his face where he has the gnarly ratty beard a la Doctor Strange, and I'm like,
It is a total origin cliche that you're a ratty beardy person and then you train with some strange people and then you get really good and then you get clean cut and you get a suit on episode 13 with about 20 minutes to go.
I'm interested to see how they do the suit because he's got a pretty gross suit.
Do you notice those monks that picked him up were wearing green and yellow?
Were they?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't pay attention. I was just like, show me Finn!
It was definitely a reference to his comic book costume. So he'll be wearing green and yellow, I suppose, to honour them.
But it will be like deep forest green with like some gold accents.
I don't know.
or
Wonder
something.
Wonder Woman might have changed the landscape now. Maybe our palettes
maybe.
are ready for richer colours.
Maybe. I feel like the Marvel TV kind of universe is not branching out into many colours at this point, so I don't know if they're going to go crazy with Iron Fist. There was some other... I haven't really read a lot about it, but I read a headline that next season in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Ghost Rider
Yeah.
is going to be on. And I'm like, what the hell?
That will make me catch up on...
I was just like, how? Like, they're
Agents of
not
S.H.I.E.L.D.
really focused... like, they don't focus a lot on universe characters so much. They kind of do their own thing. And I'm just like, how is this going to work? I'm very curious to see how they handle that.
Yeah, I think that's kind of cool. They're casting too.
They have,
someone
yeah.
I don't know, but
That's it's gonna be interesting. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. can be a bit hit and miss, and I think they're stronger when they kind of focus on their core characters. But whatever, go for it. I will watch it anyway. It will, yeah.
And it's good. I like them doing this sort of gateway thing, like bringing Punisher in through Daredevil, and then obviously he was a sort of a highlight of that, and he's very easily relatable, a character that goes around solving his problems by shooting things.
Yeah.
So he's going to get his own series, which I don't know. I hope it will do well. I feel like if Americans want to watch that, they could just look out the window. But yeah, I guess you've got options. Yeah.
Yes, I guess. Oh my god, you're getting so many notifications.
I got a message. The only person that messages me on Messenger is you.
Oh god, I better check my phone. Am I ghost messaging? No, I'm not.
Must be Suzanne. It is.
Oh, Suzanne.
She should know better. She knows we're recording.
Oh wait, is this a John Barrowman thing?
She knows I'm not editing. It is. Here we go.
Yes!
Oh, okay, that was worthwhile. This is a picture. This is
live. This is live news.
Fresh off. This is a picture from San Diego Comic-Con of John Barrowman in cosplay as the Ryan North version of Squirrel Girl.
Amazing.
Unbeatable Squirrel Girl. He's adopting the pose. He's got a little bit of a prance on.
I love him. He's wonderful.
He's got a beautiful big grin. It is absolutely fantastic. So we take it all back. That was news. God, wouldn't that be great? Wouldn't that make the show better if we had a news office that if something happened, they were just sending it through. Sending it through live.
Didn't we have an intern?
Oh, Jimmy.
What happened to Jimmy the intern?
Oh, god damn. He went over on work experience over to America, hanging out with Mike from the City List.
Yeah.
It was his turn we have him on alternate weekends.
Okay.
Which is difficult because it means he's travelling a lot of the week.
Yeah.
And he's always jet lagged, which means that
he does a terrible job all the time.
Suffers, I've got to admit. So, that was happening. Mike's got him at the moment.
He lost him behind the couch.
Yeah, Mike lives in the woods. He's a bit of a wild hillsman.
They call him Wild Mike.
Wild Mike. I've seen him, or just on Skype video, but seen him punch a bear. And Jimmy's up there, probably lost in the woods, probably in a sort of Pete's Dragon scenario, but without the dragon.
Okay.
So just filthy.
It's just an imaginary dragon.
In the woods, chasing a dragon that isn't there. But no, that's a good point. We might have to get some inquiries in and get Jimmy back. But in Jimmy's absence, which is probably why we don't have the live news coming through, thanks to Suzanne for doing that. That's fantastic. And then we had a little teaser trailer. There was one for Daredevil Season 3, but no images of Daredevil or anything, just saying basically Season 3 is happening, which should be no surprise. Marvel Legends is doing a Jessica Jones figure. There was nothing about Jessica Jones Season 2, but there is a movie version, a TV version of the figure.
Oh, that's quite cool.
And Hot Toys had their Charlie Cox Daredevil figure as well.
Yes, I did see that. Cool. That was cool, yeah.
But Defenders... again, no footage, because I guess they haven't shot this thing yet. It's coming out next year. Defenders is bringing together Jessica Jones, Daredevil, Luke Cage, and Iron Fist, who are all going to join forces to fight, I don't know, Ghost Rider, Stiltman, Paste Pot Pete, somebody. Yeah. Who would be a good Paste Pot Pete? This is a guy walking around spraying...
I'm not familiar with Paste Pot Pete. Just give me an idea of his physical attributes.
He's a dude.
Okay.
And he's got, and he's not cut or anything. I feel like he's a little bit sort of chubby and maybe he's got a little moustache. And he's got a suit, superhero suit. And he's got a paste gun.
Okay.
And he shoots paste on people.
Okay.
He gets like goop all over them.
Alright.
He gums up the works, as it were.
Right.
He puts people in sticky situations.
Okay. What's John Lovett's doing at the moment?
Oh, yeah, that'd be great. A bit old, but yeah, he'd be pretty good.
You can do anything with CGI these days.
Oh, no, I think it's fine.
Yeah.
Do it. There we go. Solved. So, yeah, the Defenders. And my favourite thing... Do you know what I'm going to say is my favourite thing about this?
What?
I really love that they use Come As You Are, Nirvana.
Yeah.
I thought it was just fantastic.
Yeah.
Just such an interesting idea of these people coming together as they are. Doesn't matter if you're wearing a green and yellow robe and have a bit of a...
He'll turn up in his dressing gown and they're all
gross
like...
beard.
They're all wearing jeans and T-shirts and they're like... He's like, we're ready to go? And they're like, no. You want to put some pants on, Iron Fist?
Come on, Iron Fist. We know you're new, but our club has rules.
And there's that... Oh, I can't remember what it's called. But what's the other Marvel TV one that's Dan Stevens that he's been cast in?
Oh, that's not... But isn't that a Fox one?
It's not the same, like, network thing.
It's not Marvel Studios doing Netflix stuff.
No, it's not a Netflix one. No, it's like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. It's a network one.
Oh, okay.
A Marvel-y
I don't know.
thing.
Is it called Legion?
Legion, yeah, that's the one.
All right. Yeah. And the news there is...
So, there's not. There's a Marvel person. It's a
Okay.
Marvel
All
show
right, yeah.
with someone
So-
that we enjoy.
so
So,
you're-
perhaps maybe Dan
Okay.
Stevens will turn up
Yeah.
at some point and serve them
All
some
right.
fucking tea. I don't know, man.
So you word associating, basically.
Yes.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
Lady Mary. Ooh. Why don't she should be in a Marvel thing?
Who would she be?
God. There aren't many female people, are there?
No, there's not. And I mean, it's not going to be long until she's over 40 and becomes invisible.
That's true.
Yeah. So she's got to, time's a ticking.
Yeah, can't
Michelle Dockery.
think of any British female superheroines. If anyone can think of one, let us know on our Facebook page. Should we review Star Trek
Sure.
Beyond?
Beyond.
Written by Simon Pegg, directed by Too Fast, Too Furious, Justin Lim.
Lim Sanity.
Yeah. So, what did you think?
The previews that had been coming, everyone had been like super positive about this movie. Like really, really, I hadn't heard a bad thing against it. And I must admit, I did enjoy it. I liked it obviously more than Into Darkness, which is a pretty low hurdle to clear, to be honest. Maybe not quite as much as the first movie. But yeah, I did like it. My main criticism would be just that so much of it was just kind of dark and murky, and some of the visuals weren't quite as clear, but I just really enjoy that team. I enjoy their dynamic, and it was a pretty straightforward story. The story itself was clear, and I had a good time.
The trailer gives you quite a clear idea. You know that the ship's going to get fucked up and stranded on this planet.
And they're going to have to come find each other and come back together and get a solution.
Save the day, and that Idris Elba is the bad guy, wearing, at the beginning, just so much prosthetics.
Yeah, he could barely speak.
I know, it's like he's got a camper van for a head.
Yeah, I was actually really worried from the trailers and even the start of the film that his villain was going to end up a bit like, was it Malekith from The Dark World, and just be completely shitty and ineffectual. But I did enjoy him more as the movie went on and the character developed.
Yeah, and the movie, I will say that for it, I think it's quite solid and cohesive. I think it tells a story from beginning to end and has some arcs in there and isn't too caught up on... It's not like the Khan one, which is all about all the nods to the previous series. Yeah. There are some respectful nods to the old cast, etc. But, it's doing its own thing, and... certainly, if you're put off by the trailers, and I know a lot of people were a bit confused by that initial one, you certainly wouldn't guess that it was directed by a Fast and Furious person. Like, he's come along and he's made a Star Trek film.
There's one sequence that's a bit Fast and Furious-y, but I still really enjoyed.
If it's what we're thinking, I'm thinking of too, it was good.
It was a bit silly, but it was kind of fun in that moment.
And it earned it.
Yeah.
It wasn't like that from, like... it didn't hit the ground like that. It took its time to kind of develop into that, and it gave it a purpose. But it's one of those things where you go, okay, they're going to do this, but then you really get a kick out of it. Like
it's
you
really fun.
You want to see it. So quite interestingly, and of course no spoilers, but if people were worried about the music in the trailers initially, there is a sort of clever reason for that beyond the reference to the first movie. And it is quite satisfying when you see it all in context. In the film,
I got a bit of a fuck yeah moment out of that when they pulled that out. I did very much enjoy seeing my second favourite X-Wing fighter pilot in the movie.
Snap!
I
didn't recognise him without his beard.
Oh, really?
I was looking at him and thinking, you're a kind of a something, somebody.
Maybe he could be Paint Pot Pete or whatever the
fuck. Paste Pot Pete. Yeah. Look, he doesn't use paint, Jacinda. He's not an artist. He's an artist with paste.
Maybe
perhaps.
is that his origin story?
I don't know.
Was
what
he
his
perhaps
origin?
he was an artist, and then there was a horrible accident with some clag glue?
I think maybe he wears a beret. I'm going to...
okay.
Let's have a look at Paste Pot Pete, which has nothing to do with our
No.
Star Trek. Yeah, he does wear
a beret. Oh, my God.
Oh,
Look at that guy.
And he's got the, big bow tie, like the Jack Nicholson Joker when he was at the museum.
Oh.
Yeah.
Man, his, jumpsuit there is horribly fashioned.
And he's got,
so baggy.
basically a hot glue gun.
Yeah.
And he actually has, a bucket of paste. So he looks like an artist that left a gallery and a half, went by Bunnings, grabbed some paste, and then just went around and started
So he just went to Spotlight and just got a whole bunch of stuff. Does he have superpowers, or does he just have a bucket of paste?
He changed his name. He became the Trapster.
Oh, okay.
And I think that's totally a cop-out. Be proud of who you are, You paste pot or bust. You were born a paste potter. Stay a paste potter.
Born in Gary, Indiana.
From 1963.
Yeah, right.
Peter Petruski, born in Gary, Indiana, originally calling himself Paste Pot Pete, the villain and professional criminal clashed with the Human Torch during his efforts to sell a new American missile to the Soviets.
Oh, he later aligned with the Avengers. Oh, so he becomes a goodish guy.
However, he escaped by using his paste to catch the wing of a plane, then diving into the sea. Does it have something about his powers? I feel like I should probably just get powers and abilities. He does not possess any superhuman powers, but relies on a variety of technological devices.
So he's like Batman, but with glue.
With glue, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Speaking of paste and pots, I want to get some context for my approach to this Star Trek film.
Okay.
Because I've never been a Star Trek fan, really.
No, neither have I.
Because it's traditionally very sexless. And where Star Wars is swashbuckling. And to even, it's actually silly. You used to hear a long time ago all that comparisons about Star Wars versus Star Trek, but it's no battle. It reminds me of when there's that interview with Carrie Fisher and the guy's like, oh, so, in the films, both Luke and Han were kind of, interested in you. Was it like that in real life? Was it a bit of a competition? And she was like, Mark, in competition with Harrison? No, there was no competition. So I feel like that's the case with Star Trek. One's a much bigger phenomenon, even though it arrived later. But I really enjoyed that J.J. Abrams' first Star Trek movie. And I remember that they seemed so confident, and it was such a baller move that before the second one came out, you could watch the first 10, 15 minutes of it in front of some other movie.
I was actually thinking about that just before the movie started.
Yeah.
Because that was, I can't remember what movie we saw it before, but it was so exciting. It was like Bones and Kirk. And they're running through a forest, and they're jumping off this cliff, and it's like, oh my
stuff
God.
happening with the ship. And I remember going, "Oh, this is awesome! They're so confident about this. They're just like, look what we've got, bam!" And it was one of those things where you see something before the movie you're about to see, and you're like, "Why aren't I seeing that movie? I want to see this." So I had high hopes, like the ant on the rubber tree plant. You had high hopes. So maybe not that quite high, but I was hoping that would be really good. I didn't connect with it. And unfortunately, that got me just not excited about this third one. And the trailer didn't get me excited, so I didn't really expect a lot. And I didn't love it. It's not one of my favourite movies of the year by any standard. It's a 3.5 star for me. But as I said, it's solid. It's like a good beginning and end. It's middle end. It's got its moments. I do like the characters. I think, surprisingly, even though Simon Pegg is one of the scriptwriters, I feel like it probably lacks a little bit of punch in the dialogue. I think some of the jokes and situations are that very mainstream trailer bait kind of, you can predict everything that's going to happen. They're kind of crowd-pleasing rather than really being character moments. I think Spock, who I remember in that first movie, I'm just like, oh shit, damn sexy Spock. And this time I'm like, he didn't even really ever come to his own and have any big moments, you know what I mean?
I guess this movie felt like it was more about spreading the load, I guess. I think everybody kind of had a smaller moment, as opposed to the first one being kind of all about Kirk and his angst, and the second one was a bit more focused on Spock and his shit, and then this one was kind of a little bit of everybody.
And this is something I'm going to talk about when we get into TV, is I do find with anything, and I think it's probably one of those things that does define why we all do have such different tastes. Like why I can go into something like Ghostbusters and come out of it going, oh, I really love that. And other people go, yeah, no, that wasn't anything for me. Is you need a character you're attached to. I feel like I always need that gateway character. If there's a actor or actress or somebody that I really like, I will go on whatever journey they're taking. Like I'm far more willing to... So that could be something like Indiana Jones. I'm going to go on that journey because I love that character. And Guardians, Star-Lord really was that anchor where I'm like, yes, this is something that I want to watch. And then we're talking about TV. You know, I suffered through some of the more laborious parts of Orphan Black because I really liked Tatiana Maslany and I liked what she was doing. And I don't think there's a person in Star Trek that I can really align with and that I really care about to that same degree, which will stop it from ever being a... You know, for me, those genre movies I love are, I want to go out and buy an action figure or something, and I don't have that.
I think Kirk's definitely been a bit neutered since the first movie. He's sort of...
Lost his swagger.
He has definitely lost his swagger. I still love... apart from the obvious reasons, I get such a kick out of Bones. I think he's very funny, even though he does get overused a little bit. I just love it. He's just so fucking grumpy in every situation.
I like Carl Urban, but yeah, I feel it is all a bit sort of played out, and it seems...
His first scene was a bit...
feels pandering?
It was a bit forced, I felt. But it got better as it went on, and it just hit the... Yeah, just the gags that revolve around him being such a hideous curmudgeon. I just get such a kick out of that.
I did have that thing, and I think we talked about it on a show recently, that sort of disconnect that can happen where you start to become... You see so many of these things, you start to become very aware of like how the sausage is made, and you start to go, oh, they didn't actually spend a lot of time shooting this really, because here's another... shot on a small set of characters talking to each other. Now we've got the big CGI scenes for a while of space and ships, and it all looks really expensive, but it's not connecting to the humans, you know, and even that sort of thing. And I guess it is because we know how films are made, where you go, here's a character standing at this big vista, and you go, or they're inside somewhere. I'm thinking of a scene with Spock where he's standing alone inside and it's like, there's Quinto on this little bit of stage with a little bit of set dressing, and then everything else is pretend. Yeah. And you sort of realise, that the parts with the actors and the humans, they really can come in and do that relatively quickly, and then everything else is dressing. And it's hard to... Because even, I guess, in terms of connecting with a character, even the ship, like, it makes you realise that something always bad happens to the US Enterprise in these last things. USS Enterprise? I don't know Star Trek. But you don't feel that same sort of attachment. Whereas, like, if something happened, like if the Millennium Falcon got ripped apart, I'd be devastated. And if they built a new one at the end, I'd be like, but that's not the Millennium Falcon.
Yeah.
You know, those things are...
But the Enterprise is about the people in the Enterprise, not necessarily the shell.
I don't know, but doesn't a captain have that absolute love for his ship?
Well, he does.
Or her ship.
Yes, exactly.
I should say.
Their ship.
Captain Red from Orange is the New Black.
Yeah. Was she captain?
Yeah.
Wasn't Patrick Stewart captain?
Yeah, but she was on a different series.
Was she?
She was Voyager.
Oh, shit. I've only ever seen TNG.
No, she's the captain of Voyager.
Ah. I like Riker. He's TNG, isn't he?
Riker's a dick.
Riker is a dick, but he's the only thing that can get me to watch that fucking show.
No. Who he would be great as.
Postbot Peg.
Yeah.
But he's like super old now.
Doesn't matter. Like, put a beret on him. He's got get the beard back.
Yeah, he can have the beard, and just most of it can just be him sitting on chairs in a really manly fashion.
Yeah.
Just throwing his leg over a chair to perch himself on it.
I'm going to try that. And then when they do it, they're stuck to the chair, and he's
Yeah.
like, ha ha, you found my pool of paste. So that's a bit of fun.
Yeah.
So yeah, I kind of felt that, but yeah, it was satisfying. I actually had that sort of thing where it took me a while to get engaged, but then I actually grew fonder of the film as it went. I liked the new alien lady too,
Yeah, she was very cool.
Jayla.
Yes.
Yeah, and I hadn't realised because she's wearing a lot of makeup that it's the same actress who played Gazelle in Kingsman.
Kingsman, yeah.
Yeah, which is really cool.
The Blade Leg Lady? Is that the one?
Yeah.
Cool.
Algerian actress.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
I thought she was really great. And
Yeah.
probably not as prominent as I would have thought from the trailers and the posters and everything, but still, I guess no less prominent than anybody else.
Yeah, exactly. Like, as I said, that it did feel, not that things were spread thin, but they were definitely shared a lot more. And I think, yeah, she definitely had as much of a role as, say, Sulu or Uhura in the
I
film.
think it's not massively cerebral. Like, I think the values are there, but the values are really kind of ham-fisted, like people talking about unity and we believe in humanity's peace and unity, and war. Well, I don't. I think that's a lot of gubbins. I believe in war and pointy sticks. You know?
I think the how broad it was probably was in some ways not necessarily a huge detriment. I was thinking of the first sort of half an hour or so that even if you hadn't really watched those first two films, they give you enough catch up that you could pretty much jump into this one without knowing too much of the old stuff.
Well, because it doesn't tax you. It's not a taxing film.
No, but you don't need to know. Like, if you know enough general stuff about, the Shatner series, then you have enough to follow this. Like, there's not any big stuff about, the relationship between Kirk and Spock. You pretty much, in the first half an hour, you understand all the relationships. You get a bit of the Kirk's kind of drive, and that's it. And that's all you need to know just to go.
Here's a spoiler for tomorrow's Book Was Better with Courtney, which is World Is Not Enough. He mentions at some point that how he'd like to see MODOK in a movie. And we're like, oh, who would be cast in that? Because obviously talking about the casting of crappy Marvel characters is a really big thing on our podcast at the moment. He reminded me that I came up with the perfect MODOK casting, and I'd completely forgotten.
Okay.
William Shatner.
Oh, yeah.
Like, William Shatner is just this big, wrinkly, huge head with tiny arms and legs, just spewing bile at everybody.
Perfect.
Absolutely wonderful.
It is.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Yeah. But jump on it, people, because he's not going to be around forever. If we learn anything from Leonard Nimoy,
Well, yes.
is you get attached to this character and support it. Oh, look, we bought Mego figures and all this sort of stuff. All, supporting, and then, oh, no, ups and leaves.
All gone.
Out of here. Oh, you can do that now, right? Beam me out, sure. Well, where does that leave us? So
The cycle of humanity.
yeah, don't get too attached. What did you think about... Actually, I don't even want to really talk about it in context of the film. I just want to talk about it as an interesting cultural thing that happened, and everyone has probably read about this, but that idea of Sulu being made an openly gay character. And by openly, I mean... The way it plays out in the film is very natural and organic and exactly as it should be. And it's not made a big deal of, which, again, is exactly how it should be. But I thought just culturally that was very, very interesting how that all happened, because I think it was a really kind of sincere thing for Simon Pegg to want to do. But then I really love George Takei's response.
Yeah. I think they're both coming from a place of love and respect
Yeah.
for the character, I think. And I don't think no one's right, no one's wrong.
But his response was, if people don't know, basically like, you know, it's great that Star Trek would have a gay character, but Sulu's not intended to be a gay character. It's not what Roddenberry had. It's not what I played. I played a straight character. And if you want to introduce that, it should be somebody new, not the character that I've already done. And I think that's interesting. I think people argue that sometimes about things, like they go, oh, if you want to introduce a black character in Superman, don't make it Perry White, you know, and I think that has less value. But what I think is interesting is the meta nature of it, because,
I mean,
is the desire to make Sulu gay because Takei is gay, but then he's an actor. It doesn't mean he can, you know, that all these characters are gay.
Yeah, and I think that
he was playing a straight guy.
Yeah, and it is just a nice nod, and I think they have sort of established that there is that kind of alternate universe timeline thing. So that Sulu was straight, this Sulu's gay. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it, you know? So I don't, you know, obviously I don't see a problem with it.
I think story-wise it doesn't matter, in the same way that I don't care if Captain America's a Nazi or a werewolf or whatever. It's all
or a toadstool.
Fun and games and make-believe, and it all comes out in the wash. But I just mean, I think it was interesting in terms of the real-life ramifications, just of this idea of someone going, I think I'm doing something really progressive, and perhaps it still is, but someone else going, well, yeah, great, but you know, if you're doing it for my benefit, you don't need to.
Yeah,
because that's not what. So you know,
I think if they made a bigger deal of it and they had a genuine story arc surrounding that, then I think it would be a bit bigger of a deal, because it's almost like posturing and going, look how progressive we're being. But it was just a little nod, really. Like, it was just a 2-second little thing, and that was it. I don't. Yeah.
There's a scene
I think
after the credits, though, where Kirk sucks a dick. But
it's his own, though.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
Blurt Lines says,
you know, Star Trek.
It's a great man.
Promotes.
Robin Thicke once said.
Promotes self-love and love of your fellow man.
Yeah.
It's just love.
Yeah.
Star Trek is love.
Yeah. That's the very end is Idris Elba in a jail cell with tears in his eyes going, you're saying that man can learn to love himself? And Kirk's like, let me show you. And then, holy crap, it's all taint for a little bit. But then,
it's like he hasn't got any of those lower ribs. Just hasn't got them.
No.
Yeah.
And Bones says, great Scott, man, you're a human, not a rubber band.
They've
no, we just ruined it for everybody.
No.
Whatever we're trying to say about Star Trek.
Yeah, no, Star Trek, good, worth watching, better than the last one. They have come out and said that they're not going to recast Chekhov for the next movie, so I'll be interested to see what they do. Maybe they'll just be like Home and Away or Neighbours. When characters disappear, they just go and live in Perth.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
so
Chekhov's come to live in Perth.
Gone to Perth.
Yeah, and they'll just have a whole opening scene going, man, I'm so jealous of Chekhov. He's like living it up in Perth. He's like hanging out at the bell tower. What a lucky guy.
Yeah.
And then never mention it again.
Yeah, it's kind of tricky. It's put them in a very tricky situation.
Because they can't kill him off.
Well, and if
they cannot do that.
If they do, they're going to repeat basically what they've had to do with Nimoy. And it's like, you can't do that every movie. And then there could be a Star Trek curse. Then we could lose another one. And then suddenly it's like, well, where do you go? You know, it's quite interesting that they're saying that there's already going to be a Star Trek 4, and this has just opened. I mean, you know, so they're not sort of relying necessarily on the finances, whereas I'm really hoping that we're going to get an announcement for Ghostbusters 2, because I would hate for those characters to just be jettisoned without getting another chance to really, you know, we've had the introduction now I want to see them in, I want to see what happens next. And we haven't had that green light yet. But then, you know, you think about some of those movies that have had sequels, like
Ghostbusters 2?
Like Turtles, which sort of didn't perform massively well and people weren't excited, but then it happened.
Yeah.
And then Star Trek and Turtles Out of the Shadows had something in common. Do you know what I'm referring to?
There was some darkness, shadows.
Alibaba Pictures.
Oh, really? I was thinking the titles. It was like Out of
Yeah.
the Shadows and Into Darkness.
Both movies at the beginning
Yeah.
have an Alibaba Pictures. So
Yeah.
Alibaba...
Man, I love the Chinese film industry. Fucking just give everyone heaps of money and we can keep having these fun movies.
Is Alibaba Chinese?
There was Chinese writing underneath that logo, so yes, I would suspect so. I mean, Alibaba is obviously sort of a Middle Eastern kind of
Yeah.
thing, but, you know, just because they
Anyway,
call themselves Alibaba doesn't mean they are.
Alibaba's a new player. Keep your eyes out because if they like the film,
They are a
there's
genie in a
going
bottle.
to be a sequel, and I hope they get onto Warcraft.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God.
Throw some money in that.
Yeah, I can't wait. Like, they have to do a sequel for that. They can't leave that movie hanging like that. I want a sequel very much.
There we go. So yeah, Star Trek, a nice kind of popcorn movie experience if you're into that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I must say, fashion-wise, I kept getting distracted because their jackets were amazing.
Yeah, they were pretty cool.
Oh
cool
my
jackets.
God, I will want them.
And it's not going to, look, don't get me wrong, it's not going to change your life.
No.
But movies don't have to, and they shouldn't. And if you're looking for a life change, it's not going to be found in a popcorn-strewn cinema. It's, like, really not. So I just want to say that because I think there's, like, crazy sort of analyses of films going on which don't really require that level of analysis. And I think if you want to be like film school analytical person, which I enjoy,
Yeah.
why are you seeing Star Trek 3? You know what I mean? Like go and see the movies that
At your local independent cinema.
require that level of analysis. Like I think to try and pick plot holes and we tend to not do that because in those sorts of movies, like what's the point? It's not how they're made.
Yeah,
you know?
ultimately
It's like complaining an apple's not an orange.
Yeah, and its purpose is to just kind of take you out of real life for 2 hours and give you a good time. Like, you know, it's not meant to solve world peace.
And the other thing is that I'm really put off in the... And I'm not going to dwell on Ghostbusters too much because I can't read anything about it anymore because people do make me angry, is there is so much where people read something online or listen to it and go, oh, this person said this, that's the truth, and then go and tell everyone else that that's what their opinion of that movie is as though it's fact without having seen it. The amount of... I work with teenagers and boys, and they are, saying, oh yeah, I hear the characters are really stereotypical, or the men are really stereotypical. I don't want to see it because it makes the men look dumb. All the men are dumb and stuff like that. And it's like, oh, because you haven't seen a dumb man in a movie before, in a comedy movie.
I saw a great little story of someone going to see Ghostbusters with her male friend, and he was mostly quite positive about it. But he said, "Man, that Kevin, like he was so just." Dumb, like why do they have to have a character like that in the movie?" And the girl was like, "Well, haven't you heard of the dumb blonde?" And he's like, "Yeah, but isn't that normally reserved for oh shit."
Yeah.
So that moment of realization,
I just don't
went,
understand why suddenly people men are going, oh, but this movie's full of stereotypes. Like every movie you've ever seen as a man is full of stereotypes.
Yeah, but normally they're female stereotypes,
no,
so you
male
don't
stereotypes as well. Like if you're watching something like even things like Alien and stuff, it's a team of everyone's a type. And I think it's such a crazy criticism to level on something like Ghostbusters because you look at a character like Holtzman, for example, and such a unique
I don't think
creature that doesn't exist in reality.
Yeah, and none of them really are stereotypes, are they? Like,
they're quite
if
nuanced.
they wanted to do stereotypes, Melissa McCarthy would be like, loud, and they would be making jokes about food and all that sort of thing. And they're not going to do that because she's an actual human character, and they're going to treat her like an actual character.
And and someone going, oh, but the guy was really dumb. I'm not good. I don't want to watch that. Like, well, do you watch Simpsons? Do you watch Family Guy? Do you watch anything? Anything with
any American sitcom with a man in it,
yeah, or any movie with a male comedian, or like something with Seth Rogen in, or Paul Rudd in, or everybody's dumb. Like that's the joke. So, and it's a comedy film. So suddenly to pretend that you're offended by that or upset by that is just absolutely crazy. And also just to think that any character in a film is representative of an entire body of people is just fucking crazy. Like, that's not how fiction works. Like, it's just nuts. So stop it. And I'm not going to read what you say about it anyway. I'm not. The minute I start reading something online and someone's going, I just think that it was... I'm just like, no, I had a great time. And that's all I needed. I got what I needed out of it. And let's move on.
Yeah.
There's already lots of other things available.
I don't even read Ghostbusters stuff anymore anyway. As soon as anyone, like, good or bad, I'm just like, you know what? I'm done. Let's move on to something else. I don't care if you liked it. I don't care if you didn't like it. Next thing.
So, TV.
Yes.
Now, this first one, you didn't get to see.
No.
And, which is a shame because I'm not going to say, I'm going to be very vague anyway because I don't want to spoil anything for anybody. But I do want to really encourage people, check out the Netflix series Stranger Things. It has been the TV talk of the week, and it is absolutely wonderful. It's 8 episodes, so it never outstays its welcome. It tells a full story but has room for more. And it's set in the 80s, and it is... premise, very basic setup, is kids playing Dungeons and Dragons in the evening. A little boy goes missing on his way home. It sort of is simultaneous with a young girl who's escaped from some sort of laboratory and is being chased, and everything sort of ties together and starts to escalate very quickly. It's creepy, it's interesting, but most of all, it's very much an homage and tribute to the Spielberg films of the 80s, Stephen King works. There's so many scenes which are either straight out of other movies or subversions of scenes from other movies. There's a lot of E.T. in it. There's a lot of Stand By Me in it. There's Poltergeist. There's The Thing. There's all these different films. There's a bit of Carrie. It's really interesting, and you'll just be like, I just want to know what happens next. Winona Ryder's in it. She plays the mother of the boy who goes missing. It's fantastic. So I really encourage you to track that down and give it a watch, and I think you will get hooked on it pretty quick. It's on Netflix, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, so everyone has Netflix these days.
That's right. And it was one of those things, like, Courtney messaged me and was like, have you watched this? I started watching it and hooked straight away. And then another person messaged me, and then someone else, and I was like, I gotta do this. And then I started watched the first episode and went, oh, because I normally do other things while I'm watching stuff.
Yeah.
Watched that first episode and went, oh, I can watch Netflix on my iPad. I'm going to bed and I'm going to keep watching this. And then Suzanne watched just from the second episode. I was sort of half watching and then was like, who's that? And I was like, oh, this person, this happened. And then we watched 3 episodes that night, and then we watched the other 4. And it was just fantastic. So, Stranger Things, really great TV. And one of those things where afterwards you're like, oh, shit, now everything's going to look crap. In fact, what I'm realizing when I look at this list is that these are really recommendations rather than reviews, aren't they? This is more of an awareness thing about saying to people, hey, here is some stuff that if you haven't caught, maybe you should give a go. Yeah,
I think Stranger Things is definitely one of those that's kind of, in at the moment. And the 2 that I'm going to talk about, one's an older one and the other one is a season that has just finished. So that one is a little bit more of a review.
Well, go on.
All right, so we're talking about Netflix shows.
Just wiggle it around. Do it.
Netflix shows. I'd had a show that kept popping up in my suggested list. Netflix recommends to you. And that was Outlander. And I'd heard people talking about it quite a lot.
Outlandish.
And I was sort of thinking, well, maybe that's something I'd probably be into, but... I hadn't sort of jumped on it, but all of my shows have finished. I'd kind of fallen out of love with Preacher a little bit, and I hadn't been keeping up with it. And I'm
hearing that.
Yeah, and I needed something to watch, so I went, well, fuck it. Look, how bad can Outlander be? Let's get stuck in. So it's based on a series of books by Diana Galbadon or something like that. I can't pronounce her surname, but it is based on some books, and there's about 6 or 7 of them at the moment, I think. And it is a lady called Claire Randall. She goes through a few surnames in the space of a couple of seasons, but She is a nurse just post World War II, and she goes on holiday to Scotland with her husband, and she finds some like druid hengy stone kind of things, and through some sort of malarkey ends up through the stones, goes back 200 years in time, and ends up in Scotland. The first half of the first season, I was kind of like, I was watching it, I wasn't like really into it. It did seem a bit kind of fluffy, chick flick, bodice ripper, kind of just like
and her bodice does get ripped a fair bit.
It sure does, yeah. And I was like, well, this is kind of fluffy and pleasant, but not particularly gripped by it, but I don't feel like I'm wasting my time. But as it goes on in that season, it kind of almost accidentally turns into quite a good show. The end of the first season is really quite intense, and almost feels like it becomes a different show in some ways. Like there's some stuff going on there that Ramsay Bolton would be pretty proud of.
Oh.
Yeah, it gets pretty crazy. And then series 2 is actually very genuinely very, very good. Right up until the end of that one. I think the
I'm stuck now because I'm about 4 episodes in, and I'm feeling what you were saying. I'm like, yeah, like it's fine in the background, but I'm not invested, and it's what we were talking about before.
Yeah,
there's no gateway character. I don't love her enough. If I loved her more, I would be into it, but I'm not.
Yeah, I didn't love her then. As she sort of moves on and starts to understand kind of the game and the workings of this sort of society, then
the game is Hungry Hippos.
Then she gets fantastic, and even straight off, even Jamie, handsome slab of Scottish beef. At first, even I was like, I guess he's okay. Like I'm not really into this guy. I'm not really like into her. But
do you think I might fall in love with this Scottish slab of beef?
I don't know. I did by the end. It took a while, but I did by the end. I think the really interesting thing, which I've turned fucking Pokemon off.
But there's there's a Pidgey.
A Pidgey. You are interrupting me for a Pidgey.
I'm not interrupting you. The bloody Pokemon man.
Oh, you didn't even fucking catch it.
No, I did. Look,
useless. Anyway,
yes.
The thing that I do actually quite like about Outlander is that it stopped fucking watching. Okay, you got your Pidgey, fine.
I just making sure he didn't escape.
Yeah, fine.
Not on my watch. Pidgey.
Is that even though it's definitely a show geared towards females, really, in that it does have a very female voice. And Claire is your main character. Everything happens through Claire's eyes, really. And there's that kind of nice... she's a strong female character going back into this time when perhaps that wasn't something that was valued. And
they're pretty rapey in the past.
They are a bit rapey. But even that, like if it's used in Game of Thrones... it's handled in a completely different way to the way that they deal with it and talk about it in this series, because it has a completely different outlook on, air quotes, the way things should be in historical periods. And that was really, really interesting. And that was, once I sort of worked out that was kind of going on, that was the thing that kept me really interested in and kept me going on, especially in the second season. They do a lot of that. But yeah, I would. It's one of those things, again, like Love and Friendship last week. It's something that you're into or it's not, really. And I haven't felt so invested in a show since probably Downton.
No, that's a big claim.
Like, I don't think it's as good as Downton.
Downton is
I don't think the
best
characters...
show ever.
It is the best show ever. I don't think the characters are quite as well written, but I think that...
if Lady Mary
I just get very...
was the main character, it would be there.
Oh, but she would just... she would rather die than
like
deal with these gross...
Michelle Dockery, not Lady Mary.
She would come through the stones and go, oh no, fuck this, and slit her own throat. She'd be like, oh, no, they're all dirty and Scottish.
She'd be like, no, things are going to change around here. And she'd set everyone right.
Yeah, she would invent electricity so she could fucking have a bath. Yeah, no, if you've kind of seen previews and pictures and you think, well, it's probably something I would be into, you may well like it. Once I finished season 2, I was a little bit bereft because season 2 only finished like a week or so ago, and they're starting to film season 3 next week, and I'm like, no, now, I want it now. Of course, it is based on a series of books. I could just read ahead and find out what happens, but like...
Reading.
I know.
Let's not get too rash. And you're continuing with Clever Man.
Oh, yes. So Clever Man also finished last week or the week before. We have spoken about this a few weeks ago. It's a locally produced. I think there was some external funding from Sundance as well. It's a kind of dystopian sci-fi Australian show where the majority of the cast are Indigenous Australians, which the whole concept of this show is just really like nothing we have had before on TV. And it got renewed for a second season even before the first one aired, which is fantastic because...
Thank you, Alibaba.
While I did really love this first season, it doesn't resolve anything. It finishes on a massive cliffhanger and you feel like it really was just the beginning as such. And I think it shows really big balls to kind of finish it in the way they did. Perhaps at that point not necessarily knowing that they were definitely going to get renewed for a second season because, God, that would have been so unsatisfying to just have that first season.
Very frustrating. I'm like that with Netflix's abortion series because it ends on a giant coat hanger.
I'm not even going to dignify that.
Oh, that's bad. That's awful.
That is very bad, Luke.
Okay, I apologise for that. I'll edit that out. Oh,
No, you won't.
I'm not editing anything.
No.
I owe the public this whatever this is.
What have they done to deserve that?
I don't know.
Don't you do it.
But it's a Zubat.
Just leave it. You don't need. Just fucking. You've got one more show to talk about. Do it.
Oh, is that what you were going to say about Clever Man?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I did enjoy it. I think it was good, but it's like, you know, eating like Nando's. Whenever I have Nando's, I just want lots more Nando's, even though I'm feeling full. And it just was it was intriguing, but ultimately a little bit unsatisfying by the end.
God, you're lucky you're not calling Marty McFly just like Nando's. He'd be right onto you.
Marty McFly wouldn't even know what Nando's was.
Do they have Nando's in America?
They don't. No, they don't. Also, it was like in the 80s. They wouldn't have had Nando's then either.
Nando's flat chickens. Look it up. No. Okay. You're right. I should have left the Zubat.
Yes, you should have fucking left the Zubat.
He was too tough. Like, I'm level 18, and he's like 200 Zubat, and he's like got an orange ring.
Don't even bother. I wouldn't have even bothered with it.
He's but I don't like just seeing him flapping around,
then turn your fucking screen off.
No, I'm drifting. I've got the Tokyo drift.
That is so disrespectful. I have my phone off to the side so that I'm not tempted by Pokemons because I'm committed to this show.
I just can't turn it off. I'm trying. I think there's something wrong with my phone.
You're an idiot. Talk about your show.
Oh, yeah. I discovered, and it's not a new show, started in 2013, although there's been 3 seasons, the last season being last year, and I think it's still got open-ended dates on IMDb, so hopefully there'll be more. But Toast of London, a British comedy starring Matt Berry as Stephen Toast, who is an kind of pompous actor who doesn't do particularly well. He does a lot of voiceovers. And it's all played like really straight kind of, but it's really insane. It's very dry and it gets really silly and crazy. Yeah,
if you enjoyed his work in the IT Crowd, you're going to enjoy this. And also...
he's amazing. Everyone's
Garth
amazing.
Marenghi's Dark Place. It's probably a little bit more Dark Place than IT Crowd, but yeah, it's very, very funny. And it's got the guy... I can't remember his name. You know in Downton...
Are we talking Downton?
Yeah, the
Are
old...
you getting down with Downton with me?
Man, I wish I like, you know, I wonder if in the future they can invent things that erase specific memories, because I would love to erase Downton and then just watch it all over again for the first time. But that's not what I'm talking about.
Just shove, this is another spoiler for Tomorrow's Book Was Better, shove a crayon into that part of your brain.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
That'll work.
The guy that Edith was supposed to marry.
Yeah, old guy.
The old guy. I can't remember his name. I want to say Michael, but Michael's the other guy.
But he's awesome.
He is in Toast of London, and he's fantastic.
Everybody's fantastic.
Yes.
Like Clem Fandango is fantastic.
Yes, I hear you, Clem Fandango.
Hello, Stephen. Can you hear me? It's Clem Fandango.
Oh, so good. I've just watched the first season, but yes, very, very good. Lots of belly laughs.
An eagle-eyed people, first season, he goes into this theatre and runs backstage, and there's a stagehand who passes him a mighty trident, and it's Daisy Ridley. She's got one line, but I was like, oh, Daisy, fancy seeing you here. It was thrilling.
Was that in season 1?
Yeah.
Was it?
Episode 3, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
It must have been really obvious because I did not see her at all.
No, you totally pick up the voice as well. Like, the voice is just so... straight out of Force Awakens.
No, dude, I'm not as committed to Daisy Ridley as you are.
Look, she was fabulous. That fucking bat is still looking at me.
Turn the screen off.
He's just staring at me with his beady little eyes, flapping around, having a lot... In my house! In my own house! Okay, I'll turn it off. Oh, well, we're nearly done. Just turn off the show. But yeah, Toast of London.
I'm nearly done.
Check that out. It's got singing in it and stuff, and Clem Fandango and
Yes.
Daisy Ridley, and it's really rad.
Yeah, watch it for Daisy Ridley.
And Ron Purchase. Ray Purchase.
Ray Purchase. Yeah.
Have you seen
Everyone's
Ray
so great.
Purchase has a twin brother who's like a prankster, and he's albino. So Ray Purchase is a man with red hair in a white suit, and his brother is a man with white hair in a red suit. So good.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not up to that yet.
Yeah, and the same actor, of course. But
Yes.
yeah, very cool. All right. Well, I think that is everything that we wanted to talk about. Still looking at this bat.
No.
Still
Yeah,
looking at
no, we are done. So
We're done.
Luke can go and hunt
So
fucking Pokemon.
Go to fruitlesspursuits.com to find out everything we're doing. This new book was better tomorrow. It's our first Bond was better. It is The World Is Not Enough. You'll find links to our Facebook page where you can come and chat about us and tell us about British female superheroes and the other things that we asked you about, which I can't remember.
And we'll put up a picture of John Barrowman dressed as Squirrel Girl.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
And you'll see Patreon. You can rate reviewers on iTunes. Here you go. That's what you can do for me for my birthday. Rate and reviewers on iTunes. That would be wonderful because then people would discover us and I would know that the audience is growing and isn't a stagnant piece of shit. So, thanks for listening. Next
What
week...
an uplifting ending.
Yeah. Next week, we're probably going to see Swiss Army Man.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think so.
And God knows what else will happen. Lots of exciting things. I'm going to go and sort this bat out. I'm going to show him who's boss.
I'm going to bat the bat.
I am going to hang him out to dry, son. This leathery apparition flapping away at me with his... He doesn't have eyes, to be fair.
Is he orange?
He's a 244.
Oh, dude, he's an orange.
I know, but
you're going to have to use a fancy
Oh, there we go.
ball,
He's
and
gone.
it's-
He's gone. He's
Okay,
gone.
good.
I just didn't like him staring at me. You need a button where you can just go, bugger off! And or maybe you could buy a broom, and then you could just swing the broom at them, bugger off! Or a hose. You could turn the hose on them. Get off my lawn, you bloody bats!
Yep.
You bats are driving me batty! We are still going.
Yeah.
We need a sign off. It's always so messy. Bye.
Bye.
Okay.